Ladies and gentlemen, Albert Ojwang's spirit is not resting in peace. And Mzee Ojwang is now even passing through a lot of problems ever since his son passed away in the hands of the police. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it has been reported that the amount of money that Kenyans contributed to condole with the family through the popular initiative by ERIC OMONDI known as Team Sisi kwa Sisi has reportedly vanished from the accounts of Mzee.
So we are roughly at maybe 10 million.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, this actually started after Albert Ojwang's father spoke to William Samoei Ruto and thanked William Samoei Ruto for actually pledging to support the family with 2 million Kenyan shillings. Kenyans, especially Gen Zs, were actually angry with Mzee for siding with William Samoei Ruto.
Namshukuru Rais kwa kuchukua kijana wangu Albert Omondi kama kijana wake na kuhisi kuona kitu, sababu wengi wameaga dunia jana, hata juzi, hata wiki jana.
Yet they were demanding for justice.
Ndo tu tumeanza, leo tumeanza na justice for Ojwang.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, people are asking themselves who actually decided to take that money from Albert Ojwang's father. Now, in this conversation, we want to unmask the person who actually took that money, and actually the information is out there, and the reason as to why Albert Ojwang's case is now going very slow.
ERIC OMONDI akachukua line ya Mzee, line yake hiyo ya pesa, then akafanya nini? Akamrudishia. Kumbe venye Mzee alimrudishia tena, ERIC OMONDI akachukua line akaenda nayo. So kila kitu yenye ilikuwa nafanyia kwa hiyo line, nani alikuwa anajua? ERIC OMONDI, sio Mzee.
The person who lobbied Kenyans to support or to stand with the family of Albert Ojwang is ERIC OMONDI. Through Team Sisi kwa Sisi initiative, Kenyans sent money. Not only Gen Zs, all Kenyans sympathized with Mzee.
Baba Albert, how do you come to us and tell us that the money that we contributed out of our genuine emotions, that the money is lost? The father to Albert. I mean, this person, my spirit is not resting well with him. It is not. And I don't like this. I don't like this. This man, may Albert rest in peace. But this man,
When Kenyans actually saw Mzee crying in Nairobi after trying to follow his son who was arrested by police, Kenyans sympathized with Mzee. And Kenyans decided to send some money to condole with Mzee to actually facilitate the burial of Albert Ojwang. Ladies and gentlemen, that was done through several pay bills and M-Pesa numbers that ERIC OMONDI actually put online for Kenyans to access.
Leka simu ya baba Albert ikaja. Hiyo ni? Tukeka simu yake ya pili ikaja. Hiyo ni? Tukeka simu ya mama ikaja. Hiyo ni? Tukeka simu ya bibi ya Albert ikaja. Hiyo ni?
4 million.
Aya, nilienda nikafungua pay bill. Ile pay bill niliweka family by force. Yeah? Niliweka family by force. Iko na mama, nili include wife na mother. Hiyo pay bill tukiongea iko na 2.6.
Now, the amount of money, ladies and gentlemen, that was contributed through the popular Team Sisi kwa Sisi initiative was over 10 million Kenyan shillings.
So we are roughly at maybe 10 million.
And currently, ladies and gentlemen, in Albert Ojwang's home, his father's house is undergoing construction. And the house that is being constructed with the amount of money that was contributed by the governor of Homa Bay County, that is Her Excellency Gladys Wanga. And Mzee is now crying that the amount of money that Kenyans contributed is not now available in the bank account.
Inasemekana kwamba there is an intruder mwenye ameingia kwa account ya baba Albert Ojwang na ametoa pesa ile wa Kenya walikuwa wamechanga ya Sisi kwa Sisi.
And Kenyans have said, ladies and gentlemen, that ERIC OMONDI actually lobbied Kenyans to contribute money. Those money were not his. The act of him actually deciding to con Mzee has really been rebuked by Kenyans. Ladies and gentlemen, several Kenyans, especially the Gen Zs, actually condemned and rebuked Albert Ojwang's family for communicating with William Samoei Ruto and thanking William Samoei Ruto instead of thanking the Kenyans who actually stood with him and contributed that money to him.
Nataka kukuambia wewe Baba Albert, wewe kama ni mzee mwenye atumia akili, Wakenya waliamua kukusaidia, lakini ulisaliti Wakenya. Ulipigiwa simu na Kasongo, akakudanganya, akakutumia 2 million. Ukasahau ya kwamba mtoto wako ulifundisha kutoka nursery hadi university.
Ladies and gentlemen, Kenyans were very specific when they were actually talking to Albert Ojwang's father. They said that they wanted justice but not money, because money they had already raised. And Kenyans are saying that Albert Ojwang's father actually was coerced by the governor of Homa Bay County, that is Governor Gladys Wanga, to thank William Samoei Ruto against his will.
Gladys Wanga going to that grieving father's home, mocking him with money, forcing him to thank people. Anamwambia hata amesahau thank Raila. Anamwambia umesahau thank president. Tell him that you are very thankful amechukua mtoto wako kama yake. Can president go and kill Charlene Ruto?
And now, ladies and gentlemen, Kenyans are now saying that Albert Ojwang's father decided to trade his son's life with the 2 million Kenyan shillings. And some Kenyans, ladies and gentlemen, were very angry by that. Some even decided to actually reverse the amount of money that they sent to Albert Ojwang's phone numbers. Now, ladies and gentlemen, there has been a series of cover-ups in the case of the late blogger and teacher Albert Ojwang ever since the police officers were arrested for actually participating or being part of Albert Ojwang's death. And now, ladies and gentlemen, Kenyans have been shocked that OCS of the Central Police Station, that is Samson Talam, alongside Police Constable James Mukhwana and 3 other suspects, are now the people who are facing prosecution for murder charges in the courts. But DIG Eliud Langat has actually been set free.
Criminal case number E10 of 2025, Samson Kiprotich Talam.
Yes, Your Honor.
James Mukhwana.
Yes, Your Honor.
Peter Kimani alias Kim.
Yes, Your Honor.
James Ngige Gitau. Sorry. John Gin.
Remember, ladies and gentlemen, Eliud Langat is actually the person, or rather the police officer, who actually made a complaint for Albert Ojwang to be arrested from his home in Homa Bay County. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the big fish is free, and the people who are considered to be small fish are now the ones who are facing the wrath of the law. Ladies and gentlemen, who is this person who is protecting DIG Eliud Langat? William Samoei Ruto is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. And if the army, or rather if the police officers are rotten, it means that the government is also rotten. And Kenyans are now saying that William Samoei Ruto is the one who has been constantly protecting DIG Eliud Langat with an aim of making him or promoting him to become the IG of police. William Samoei Ruto is planning to capture the most sensitive dockets in the security apparatus in this country. That is ranging from the Cabinet Secretary for Interior Security to the Inspector General of Police to other very most sensitive dockets in the security. This is a plot aimed to capture power in 2027. Ladies and gentlemen, what do you think? This is Alois TV. In the event you're watching me for the first time, then please join my channel by hitting the subscribe button. To the existing subscribers, I want to thank you so much for continuing to support this channel. Let's meet in the next one. Adios.